Oh, there's so many yummy vegetarian options out there. You could try like lentil soup, veggie burgers, tofu stir fry. The possibilities are endless.
Stop scrolling. The KOSPI just closed down 0.59%, and this data is screaming a major warning for NVIDIA and Tesla.
But listen, this headline number, it's a complete trap. The real story, the one that's actually going to matter for your P&L when the US market opens, is happening underneath the surface. It's all about where the smart money is moving.
Okay, so here's the fundamental conflict you have to get your head around. The main index is down, right? But the sectors that are critical for the United States, I'm talking semiconductors and batteries, they're flashing massive buy signals.
And here's the proof, the raw data. While local Korean institutions were dumping over 771 billion won, which tanked the index, foreign investors were quietly coming in and accumulating over 346 billion won worth of stock. They are absolutely buying this dip. So the real question is, what exactly are they buying?
And this is the point you can't miss. All that institutional selling is just noise. It's a mechanical thing. The signal, the real signal, is the targeted foreign buying. That's the breadcrumb trail we're going to follow straight into tonight's U.S. session. So let's follow it. Where did that money actually go? And why does it matter so much for the U.S. Open? Look at how specific this is. This is what's so important. This wasn't some broad market buy. Foreign money went directly into NVIDIA's primary supplier for high-bandwidth memory, SK Hynix. They bought Samsung because they're expecting more AI deals. And they bought EcoPro, a critical player in the U.S. EV supply chain. See, this isn't random. It's a very targeted bet on the U.S. tech story. So you're probably wondering, if the AI theme is so strong, why did the market drop at all? Well, the reason is mechanical. It's not fundamental. And understanding this is absolutely key to having the confidence to make a move. The drop was caused by something called quadruple witching. I know, it's just jargon. All it really means is it's like a scheduled, market-wide spring cleaning. Big institutions are forced to sell off a ton of expiring contracts all at once. It's a temporary flood of paper, not a sign of real economic trouble. The best way to think about it is like a temporary liquidity indigestion. The market was forced to swallow this huge wave of sell orders all at once. This is not a crash. It is a setup for a technical rebound as soon as all that supply gets absorbed. And that brings us right to the U.S. supply chain signal. This is how we link the Korean data to specific, actionable U.S. stocks. The logic here is a super simple two-step chain. Step 1, the smart money, these foreign investors, they aggressively buy the dip. Step 2, their number one target is SK Hynix, whose entire business is basically supercharged by demand from one single company, NVIDIA. So when you put it together, this money flowing into Korea's semiconductor supply chain is an unequivocally positive indicator for U.S. chip stocks tonight. And to be very specific, that means you need to have NVIDIA and Micron on your screen at the opening bell. The signal from Asia is crystal clear. The AI trade is still very much on. Okay, so let's boil all of this down into a concrete, actionable plan for the U.S. Open. No ambiguity, no fluff. The data is pointing bullish, for sure, but we have to respect the one major risk on the table. You can see it right here on the daily chart of the KOSPI. Today's drop was just a little dip inside a very clear uptrend. The structure is still bullish, the market is holding well above key moving averages. But here is the trap. The one and only variable that could invalidate this entire bullish thesis. 4.2%. That is the number. That's the critical level for the U.S. 10-year Treasury yield. If bond yields spike above this level, macro pressure will crush tech momentum. It won't matter how strong the signal from the supply chain is. All right, here is your trade plan. Screenshot this now. The bull case triggers if NASDAQ futures can break 25,850. That's our confirmation. We target 26,100 with NVIDIA and Micron leading the charge. But, and listen, this is your kill switch. If that 10-year yield breaks 4.2% or if NASDAQ futures fall below 25,500, you cancel all longs immediately. That's the signal that macro pressure has taken over. The flows are clear. The setup is perfectly defined. The data doesn't lie. Now it's all about execution.
Be ready for the bell. I am Rorosha.